Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here, and today we're watching episode 9 of Yakusoku no Neverland. So, last episode, Norman has finally decided to push the button, pull the trigger, whatever you want to call it. In any case, Operation Kill All Demons is now online and working. And just at the last moment, we got, of course, Emma and Ray returning with Mujika just to catch Norman right in the act, right? Well, I still think that it's probably not going to be an easy sell to Norman. Why should it be? After all, he already made this much resolve and to do all this and whatnot. But at the very least, we're probably going to learn a lot more about the lore and background of the demons of Mujika and these special demons who don't need to eat human meat. And, well, I guess we will try to find a way to resolve everything, hopefully without too much bloodshed, although I do think that is going to be quite impossible. I'm not expecting this to be the end of this series, or the ending arc, if you will. They obviously still need to find a way to, to at least learn of the status of the gate to the human world or something of that sort, right? I would expect the entire series to actually end back near Gracefield House, with perhaps a certain lady making her reappearance, right? Isabella, I mean. But hey, what do I know, right? And not to mention, it already changed from the manga, which, by the way, I still haven't read yet, the actual endings and whatnot, so, it's anybody's game for now. So, with that being said, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, well, I guess before that. God damn, why do I forget every single week that we start out, with an actual opening? I guess I don't mind. I do love this song. And I love the visuals here. Right? I think this is actually a great opening. And I'm not just talking about the song. I'm talking about the opening animation as well. Right? The visuals, seeing them, in their little suits and hats and whatnot. And seeing this sort of color scheme and whatnot. Oh, and I love this. I love this scene as well. This sort of standoffish scene between the demons and the kids. Reaching for the light. Walking towards the light. Ah. Right, like, regardless of anything that actually happens within the main story or whatnot, I still have to say this is one badass opening. Alright, still turning. Hmm. That's actually a much larger city than I initially expected. Oh, hand got caught in the cookie jar. Hmm. I feel like what's gonna happen here is that, all the others are going to intervene. The other humans, I mean. This is something that these two definitely learned, right? Again, I'm just waiting here. But, so so they are. Oh, he can also do the same thing as well. Dang. So they turn back. I do have to wonder though, like, what do these two think about this entire? Yeah, this dude is obviously also part of the people who can do this, or the demons who can do this, I guess. Okay, so I guess they are actually. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. Hmm. Oh wait, the rest of them don't know about his situation either? By the way, what are the... So, in other words, there actually is a way to reverse this situation. Why were they given drugs anyways? Like, to grow their abilities? To suppress their abilities? As a sort of poison? But huh. So that guy is the bald dude? Huh. Okay. This is definitely a lot different than I was expecting. But I guess perhaps that one guy is not convinced. But like, if they had this power before, why didn't they do it before, and why are they willing to do it now? That's... Hmm... Oh. And then instantly something else happened. Oh. She's a grandma now? Damn. Now that's called information war. Okay, so that's what the drugs are for. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, and now all of them are just here? Honestly, though, wouldn't the wouldn't the next logical conclusion from all this be synthetic brains? like lab-grown brains or whatnot, isn't that the ultimate low risk, high reward? Like you don't need to deal with creating children at all. They probably don't want the demons to be like this. So they'll be killed by the other demons instead, eh? I do have a feeling that maybe this is a method for the elite, the top of the top, to control the population, control the masses. No? William Minerva? Or actually, we know his real name by now, but I kind of forgot. What was it, John? Right. So, this is Minerva, right? Yeah, there has to be a reason why you don't use this blood, right? I have a feeling this is something that will uproot the very foundation of the demon rule, the current demon rulings. So within all this, they actually managed to cram in a story about class warfare, class difference as well. I like how everybody is now all on the same page or something like that. The antidote? What? So they had it since 15 years ago? Well, how convenient. sorry. I guess. It is unfair to use a small child to do this. Ugh. How can anybody? Yeah, even these guys are like, we can't do anything. Now the other Emma. And isn't it also kind of funny in a way that the humans and demons also share similar names in a way? Well, I guess since they were named by, well, anyway, you guys get what I mean. It's just like, I guess demons do take more aspects of human culture than they let on. It's just because she's the protagonist. Huh. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Damn, Vincent. Why? Alright. Of course, there's gotta be a twist in the end. Anyways, see you guys after this. Well, okay. So the conclusion out of all this went pretty much as expected. Although I certainly wasn't expecting Resistance to be this this small in size and number. That was probably the most surprising thing out of all this. I seriously thought we were gonna have like an entire drama-filled episode where those other humans, those other test subjects that were around Norman, they would be vehemently opposed to all of this, and then we'd have a big battle, have a big fight in order to convince them, and so on and so forth. Everything went, pretty much better than expected, if I could say so. Now, with that being said, though, and all this little, putting all this sort of sentimental stuff aside, demons are, they have feelings too. Humans have feelings too. We can work together to overcome our differences. All that kind of thing. Fine. Well, we get that, right? Let's put that aside for now. But there are still a few more things that are quite puzzling to me, right? And the sad thing is I don't think we're going to get an adequate answer considering there's only 2 episodes left, but no, still, I think that's sort of the idea of these review portions as well, or these musing sections where we go into things that I do feel like deserve to be discussed but might not be, right? Like, say for instance, okay, so right now we understand the entire concept of the Lambda project now, which is essentially to create to have a surefire way to have these highest quality brains, right? That makes a lot of sense, considering, obviously once you do have something, even with food nowadays, right? Once you have food, you want to know how to engineer it, modify it so that it increases the efficiency, it reduces cost and whatnot. That's what happens nowadays with GMOs as well, right? Genetically modified organics. They basically, a lot of testing is done in labs and whatnot in order to create food with larger yields, and that are more resistant to disease, more resistant to insects, and so on and so forth, right? So it makes a lot of sense, and it would only make sense that for the demons as well, they would want to find a way to improve the efficiency of their farms. Now, with that being said, though, I do think that they are sort of concentrating their efforts on the wrong method. I feel like having, consider something that's synthetic meat or whatnot, right? I feel like that, or synthetic grains, that would actually reduce all the negative side effects of having to run these farms and having to run actual children and whatnot, and would allow the mass production to begin even sooner and with even less danger, right? I mean, I guess that might be the logical next step that they go to once they complete this first Lambda project step. The next step would probably be to forego the entire process and whatnot. But, I can understand that entire concept there, right? Now, with that being said, I still have so much questions about, this James guy. Or, no, wait, sorry. I think he is Peter, right? His name is Peter. His predecessor is named James. So maybe his father or something of that. I'm so... I want to know about their backstory so much. I want to understand how the humans actually exist in this demon world, free humans, not actually farmed humans and whatnot. How they co-work with each other, what do they feel about the entire situation, and so on and so forth, right? And certainly we saw Isabella as well. She has now apparently risen up in rank to grandma. And it's quite obvious that they have at least a very cordial relationship with each other, right? Demons certainly don't just run things all by themselves. They also rely on these humans to work alongside them in order to do whatever it is that they need to do here. So I want to learn about, their situation as well as, is it really just as it's shown on the surface that this Peter dude just really wants to create this Lambda project to create high quality meat, and then, that's the end of that? What's in it for him, right? Like, what motivates him to do these kinds of things? I want to know. Or is there maybe something even more sinister or a darker plan that he has for all of this, right? I can't help but feel that there is enough ambiguity to put another twist in there, but I really, really don't know, right? And with only 2 episodes left, I can't really think of a situation where another twist is put in, and we'll be able to see about that. We'll be able to see the consequences, or so on and so forth about that. So, I guess, unfortunately, that might be something that I have to go into a little bit further once I get to the manga and read to that point here. Because I'm sure that in a manga form, they should obviously explain who this Peter and this James dude is, right? Right? I don't know. I certainly hope so. Beyond that, we also have the other big question mark for me is definitely Mujika, right? So she, she has lived for a long, long time. She is sort of like the source, the origin of this sort of blood that can stop the demons from degenerating and never even having to eat meat once again, right? So what has she been doing for these past few hundred years? And it's quite obvious that it's not exactly her mission to spread this to like literally everybody. So what is her MO? Like, what does she want? Why has she decided to help during this time, whereas in the past maybe she didn't really do anything actively either, right? She's mostly on the run and trying to keep a low profile so as to not be captured or whatnot. So why risk her lives and why actually act up at this point in time, right? That's also something I want to understand as well. The part where she's being persecuted and whatnot, I think I can guess the general idea, right? Get the gist of it. Most probably because of the the imbalance in power that it may presume, right? Throughout all of human civilization, those that controlled the food were the ones who, I should say it like this. For the evolution of human civilization, the ones that got into power first were those that controlled the food supply, right? So I think it's talking about a similar situation here with the demons as well. Those that now are currently at the top, the elites, the nobility, whatever you want to call it, they are there because they control the farms, right? And if you reduce the dependency of of the demons on these farms, if they don't need to eat humans anymore, they will lose that power, right? So it's obviously not in the nobles or the leaders or you know the top echelons of the demon hierarchy. It's not in their benefit in that someone like Mujika exists that can, you know, solve the entire problem, right? At the very least, they would want it to be a gradual transition instead of you know, just willingly giving out blood to everybody. So I think I can understand from that perspective why Mujika might be branded as the evil-blooded one and you know, have to face persecution and be on the run and whatnot. You know, I definitely am wondering, like, what about the entire city? Now that the entire city's population has this, you know, how exactly are they going to, like, are they going to just completely eradicate all the demons there or something like that? Like, how is that going to work, right? And you definitely also have to feel like, how was it that such a situation did not spread already, right? Like, seriously, once you, it's not even a case where Mujika has to go around and give all her blood to different people. Once you have a drink of her blood, then, you know, everybody else gains immunity, and then they can immediately put their blood to use for others as well. Like, if she really wanted to, I feel like this would have been so easy to actually proliferate and spread to the entire demon population. But she hasn't done that, right? So what does she think about this entire situation? And why has she decided to act up right now? And more importantly, you know, how is this going to affect the end of this story, right? So, you know, I guess if we're going for the good ending route, if you will, then but probably what's going to happen is that they're going to find a way to allow Mujika's blood to be spread to all the demons, you know, and so the entire farm sort of system is going to collapse because nobody really needs it anymore. I guess, you know, technically they could still exist illegally or whatnot, because apparently human brains are still a delicacy, even if you don't need to eat it. But you know, that is definitely one of the endings that we can go for, and probably much more tuned to Emma's vision of demons and humans coexisting peacefully, right? You know, we certainly can look forward to that kind of situation here. Beyond that, what else from this episode, right? I mentioned that was one of the good endings that can happen. What are some of the bad endings? Well, should I even say good ending, bad ending? Because at this point, I feel like that's probably what's going to happen, right? That Mujika's blood is going to be spread and whatnot. Now, I guess one of the bad endings might be that Emma and the others, right, they're trying to look for the gate towards the human world and whatnot. Does that actually exist, or is that, you know, completely a false sense of hope? Maybe this is the entire world and whatnot. They certainly don't exactly have somebody who understands the true history of everything. I'm assuming that those at the top of the demon hierarchy probably know the truth about the entire situation. Maybe there is trade back and forth or something like that. But, you know, we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see. That is definitely another thing that is quite intriguing to me. And you know, they still got a ton of stuff to go through before they end there, and I just hope to God that they have enough time to at least fit some of the crucial information, important backstories into it. You know, but with that being said, at the end of this episode, right, we clearly see that, you know, there is a traitor amongst us. In fact, judging from the previous conversation between Peter and, you know, the boss demon and whatnot, potentially that entire escape was even engineered by him or something of that sort. I don't know, right? But at the very least, this turns into yet another situation where we need to you know, take a step back and think, what is going to happen? And, you know, is it just as it seems on the surface of things, or is there another layer to all of it, right? So, you know, you can go as complicated as you want, but once again, since we're so short on time, I don't really think that much can happen. So, you know, that we'll see. Another I guess not really interesting thing, but more of a puzzling thing to me would be the fact that the antidote to, you know, the drugs that were administered to Norman and the others exist a long, long time ago. So what exactly is the purpose of that drug, right? Is it just to artificially boost their intelligence or something of that sort? And then, but how does that exactly work? So what about the Lambda project? So even though 15 years ago they already had these sort of drugs and the antidote to that drugs, but the Lambda project only finished right now or something of that sort? Like, I don't know. Like, why? I'm assuming that the guy who died was William Minerva, and again, I forgot his real name, but anyways, um, why would he have the plans? Like, was he originally a researcher there? Was he, one of those humans who lived freely but who learned about the situation, learned about the truth? Well, so much stuff, right? So many damn questions, so little time. But a lot of, regardless, these are questions I do hope are answered in some way or the other. If not by the end of this season, by the end of this anime, then hopefully within the manga instead. So, anyways, that was a long review portion, but hey, there is a lot to talk about. In any case, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week as well. Stay tuned. Bye bye.